You know that feeling, right? That little bit of pressure to share every single cool moment of your life. Almost like you have to prove you're actually living it. You're just scrolling through your feed, and all you see are these perfect highlight reels. And you feel that nudge that you should probably post something too. But then you notice some people just don't.
And that's the big question, isn't it? In a world that just screams for us to overshare everything, why do some people consciously choose to keep their lives to themselves? So let's really get into the psychology behind this. Because, spoiler alert, it has very little to do with hiding and everything to do with building something way more powerful.
All right, let's bust some myths right off the bat. It's so easy to jump to conclusions, isn't it? We see someone who's private and we think, oh, they must be hiding something. Or maybe their life just isn't that exciting. But the deeper truth? It's usually the complete opposite. Choosing privacy is often a huge sign of emotional intelligence. It shows they're focused on their own self-worth, not chasing attention. And they get it. A life doesn't need an audience to be amazing.
And that brings us to a really important idea here. We need to completely reframe how we think about this. Choosing to be private isn't a weakness. It's not a sign of fear. It's actually an active, powerful demonstration of strength. Just think about the mindset for a second. It's a deliberate move away from needing that little dopamine hit you get from likes and comments. Instead, the focus is on the actual experience, the real thing. People who truly value their privacy, they understand that a lasting sense of self-worth isn't something you can assemble on a public feed. It's built inside, in the quiet, unposted moments.
There's this fantastic quote from the psychologist Carl Jung that just nails this idea. He said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And think about that word he used, privilege, not a performance. For people who get this, the process of figuring out who you are, well, it just doesn't require a worldwide broadcast.
So, okay, it's a sign of strength, but there's another layer to this. Privacy also works as this incredibly powerful form of protection. It's like a shield for your own inner peace.
And it makes perfect sense when you think about it. The moment you put everything out there, you're basically opening the door to this whole cycle of negativity. You start comparing your real, messy life to someone else's perfectly curated online one. You invite judgment from people you don't even know, and you might even stir up envy without ever meaning to. It becomes this exhausting, addictive loop.
And this is where we get into this idea of self-preservation. In this context, it's not just about, basic survival. It's about being strategic. It's about protecting your most valuable assets, your mental energy, and your ability to focus. When you consciously limit your exposure to all that online noise and negativity, you're making a choice to preserve your own well-being.
And this is such a critical distinction. We have to be clear. This has nothing to do with secrecy or being sneaky. It is all about being intentional. It's about you choosing where your energy goes, who you share the important parts of your life with, and what truly matters to you, far away from the noise of public opinion.
And, that intentionality, it leads us straight to the psychological engine that drives this whole thing. The move from needing applause from the outside world to generating your own confidence from within.
Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got extrinsic validation. That's when your self-worth is basically tied to likes and comments. It means you're always relying on public applause and you're terrified of failing in front of everyone. But then, look at the other side. Intrinsic validation. This is where your self-worth comes from your own personal growth, from your own achievements. And the real magic here, the power in this shift, it's freedom. The freedom to try things, to mess up, to learn, without a whole audience judging your every move.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? What does this all boil down to? It's really one simple but incredibly powerful concept: quiet confidence. So, what does this quiet confidence actually look like in practice? Well, here are 4 pretty clear signs. It's not about never posting, it's about posting selectively. It's about caring more about deep, meaningful offline connections than a wide, shallow online reach. It's about setting healthy boundaries and not feeling like you have to apologize for them. And maybe most importantly, it's being genuinely content without needing a constant stream of public approval. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of maturity and real self-respect.
And that's really the heart of it all. The next time you see someone living a more private life, try not to jump to the conclusion that it's a weakness. Understand that, more often than not, it's a powerful, intentional choice. It's what quiet confidence looks like in action.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Just take a quiet moment and look at your own habits. When you share something, ask yourself, am I doing this to prove something to an audience? Or am I just living for me and sharing only what genuinely brings me joy? It's a pretty powerful question to ask yourself.